thing that comes to mind?
The map of America. A lot of states. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Besides that, besides that, what else comes to mind?
Okay, of course, it has a lot of different people from many world from many country in the world,
Uh-huh.
and they come to America to study or work, and then they
Uh-huh.
bring their culture to America.
Very good. Now there's a term. They always say that American is a melting pot. Okay? If
Yeah,
you
that's
ever
right.
if you ever heard that term melting pot, it what that means is that America is not only about American culture, but is an accumulation of culture from all around the world because everybody wants to come to the United States. Do you know why?
Because United States, as I know, is a development country and
Uh-huh.
very
It's not a
famous.
it's not a development, but it's a very well developed. Okay, just say develop.
Yeah, developed.
Develop.
Developed, not
Okay.
development. Sorry.
All right. Developed
Well
country.
developed.
Mm-hmm. All right. And
Yeah, and
also, and do you know why? Because America believes in freedom of speech. We can say anything we want, and nobody's going to stop us. Okay? We have the right, right? We have the right. We have the right to express what we want to, even if we are against the idea of the president. Even if we don't like the president, we can say we don't like you, right? And we don't have to be in jail. We don't get punished for it, right? And also opportunity. Opportunity. Opportunity is one of the most important things that lure other people to America, right? Like you said, America is very developed, right? It's a developed country. Therefore, many people wants to go to America for what? For educations, for job, right? For
yes,
education, for
that's
job,
right.
for opportunities, right? For opportunities. So that is why. So there's a couple words in the reading that I would like you to be careful on, okay? And also, your reading is not at a beginner level. I want you to focus reading as in telling a story, changing your voice into a narrator. You read to inform, right? You write to inform, so you read to inform. When you are informing, do you understand that word? Inform.
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay? When you are informing information, your tone of voice is different. Notice the way I am talking to you, right? I am not just talking to you, but my tone of voice changes, right? It changes into a narrator that makes you that capture you to listen to what I have to say. That doesn't mean you have to listen to me because I'm holding class, but it captures you in a way that, okay, what is happening next? I want to know. I want to know, right? It keeps your interest. So read to inform, write to inform. You want to read in a way that you're telling a story. You're not just reading, but you're telling a story. All right? Now there's a couple of words in here I want you to be extra careful on. The first word, can you read that?
Wolves.
Okay. Now listen to the Z sound. The S sound at the end of the word wall is a Z sound. Your tone of voice is lower, okay? Anytime a word ending that is voiceless, your tone of voice is higher and shorter. Let me repeat. Anytime a word ending with a voiceless, your tone of voice is higher and shorter. The sound is cut short. However, any words that end in a voice sound, your tone of voice is lower and longer. Lower and longer. The reason why it's lower and longer is because of the vocal cords, right? Your vocal cords have to stretch out the sounds, so it's making the sound longer. So listen to the way that I pronounce this word. Walls. Did you hear that long duration with the Z? Z. Walls. Walls. The walls. The walls. Walls. Instead of waltz. Did you hear that? Waltz. It's different, all right? It's different than walls. So try to read it. Walls.
Wolves.
Okay, now listen to the durations of the Z. walls.
walls,
Very good. Again,
walls,
very good. Now, can you read this word?
hour,
Hour.
yes,
Can you say that again? What about this word?
laws,
Okay, very good. Notice the S turn into a Z. If those of you who don't know why, we've mentioned it many times that if an S comes after a voice sound, the S will become a Z. Let me repeat. If an S proceeding after a vowel, proceeding is comes after a vowel, it would turn into a Z sound. If it is coming after a voiceless sound, it will remain as an S. Okay? So remember those simple basic pronunciation rules. It's only in the United States, American pronunciation. All right? So what I want you to do, sweetie, I want you to read this passage again for me.
okay. Our culture beyond the
Beyond
walls
the
of
walls, walls.
beyond the walls of our home lies a great nation with a culture of its own. The structure of our government, our laws, and the
Okay, I'm
way
gonna stop
people
you real quick. You're having problem with your all sound. Okay, you're having trouble with your open O sound. Okay, for example, like the word laws when you're reading. Okay, and also the word government. Government, government,
government,
uh-huh, government. Remember what I say about the T and the D? You don't have to aspirate it. You don't have to aspirate it. Watch. If I read this word as without a T, you will still know what it is. Government, government, government. Do you still understand the word without the T sound?
okay.
Okay, so try to read it without the T sound. Okay, go ahead and read it again, starting with the structure.
The structure of our government, our laws, and the way people relate to each other have great influence on our actions and attitudes. What do you think about when you hear the words the United States of America?
Okay, so can you read this word again? Right here.
Attitudes.
Okay, uh, we read this word in the United States as attitudes. Attitude with the D sound. Okay, it's attitude.
Okay.
You can say attitude as I don't know if that's how British people pronounce it, but in the United States we would pronounce that word as attitude. Attitudes. Okay, can you read this word?
Words.
Okay, it is a Z sound, right? Words, words,
Yes.
words.
Words.
Okay, it's a Z sound and it's very light. Words, words. All right, words.
Words. Words. Words.
Okay, very good. Just try not to overemphasize when you're reading, right? When you're reading, you're trying so hard to say all of the sound ending. Sound endings are not supposed to be pronounced out clearly, right? The sound is ending, and you want to end the sound. If I were to read this, this is how I would read because our culture is the topic that we're reading. We're going to say our culture. Beyond the walls of our homes lies a great nation of a culture of its own. You notice my stop, the way I stop with the word own. I stop for a long period of time because that is the end of a first statement, right? That's the end of the first statement. Now I'm going on to the next information. I want to stop longer than a comma, right? The structure of our government, you pause again, but this time the pause is short because it is an introduction of new information. So you want to stop shortly. Our laws and the people related to each other have great influence on our actions and attitudes. Right? Notice how the way I'm reading in a narrative voice. Right? For you, I will help you more because, like I said, your English is not at the beginner levels, and I want you to, if you are learning about American English, that's how you want to read it. But overall, I think you did a very good job, and I'm grateful for you to come up here to share your English experiences. How long have you been learning English? Oh, well, that tells why.
Yes.
Okay. Well, no wonder why. Okay. Well, thank you very much, and you have a good night.
Yeah, thank you. Good night.
Okay. If you guys notice the last word that she said, goodbye, she added another S. She said goodbyes. Okay. Chocolate, be careful with your S's and Z. Okay. Don't overemphasize it. All right, let's move on to the next person is three R's. Are you there? Three R's. Three R's. Can you call me three R's? I am not going to read your nickname because it is so complicated. Hello,
Hello, Coach Jenna.
how are
Can you
you?
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, good, good. I can hear you clearly too. So, what do you think is interesting about your culture?
I think in my culture, or actually our culture, there are a lot of interesting things. From many other cultures, we have our language as part of the culture, the
Okay.
clothing,
Now,
the
why is
performance.
okay? Oh, wait. You're giving me so much thing. Okay. When someone is asking you a question, try to focus in one thing, right? If it's asking you to what are sums, if it's asking you many things that you can list, but I'm asking you, what do you think is interesting about your culture? So always tell me what is the
I
most.
was supposed to make an offer for you, so you can
Making an
choose
offer.
what thing that you want to know about.
Actually, I want to know about everything, but tell me one thing that is the most interesting about your culture and why do you think is interesting?
Uh, in my opinion, maybe the most interesting in our culture, maybe the performance art,
Performing
because
arts. Okay.
yes, the reason that I think that is should be the most important or the most interesting thing about our culture, because in other aspects you can find it in other culture also, that when it comes to performance art, we have quite many things, I think, quite particularly, and it is quite interesting.
Okay.
And we have something in common in three regions and various parts of the country, but we also have many things in different. They have, for example, in the northern part, they have some kind of performance art. In central parts, they have their own, and in southern part, they have their own performance art. And I would say that is prosperous.
Okay. All right, there's four words I want you to repeat for me. Please be extra careful when you are pronouncing T at the end of a word, okay? Um,
Okay.
because you are overemphasizing the T sound. When you're speaking, all I heard was just t, 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 okay? So the word is art. Art. Do you hear the T sound? No, you don't, right? Because it's not
Yeah.
aspirated. It's at the end of the word, it's not aspirated. Art. Quite, part, art, quite, part, and also the word will. Go ahead and read those four words.
Okay. Art, white, part, will.
Okay, read it again.
Art, white, part, will.
Okay, try not to do this sound. Okay, when you're reading.
Not at all.
Nope, not at all. art.
Okay.